quietly in your home. But don't blink, because each of these coins hides a story of silver and sacrifice, of minting miracles and collector obsessions, stories that could turn a simple quarter into an American legend. So tighten your grip, coin hunters, because by the end of this video, you won't just be watching history, you might be holding it. Let's unlock the first treasure and discover what makes it a priceless relic in today's market. The year 1964, the final chapter of America's silver quarter era. This coin, the 1964 Washington silver quarter without mint mark, isn't just another quarter, it's a survivor from a world on the edge of change. While the nation looked to the future, the moon, civil rights, new dreams, the U.S. Mint quietly ended an age-old tradition that year, silver coinage. Made from a proud 90% silver and 10% copper, each 1964 quarter was born in a furnace of precision and patriotism. It weighs just 6.25 grams, yet carries the weight of American identity itself. The portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, shines with dignity even today. But this particular one, the black shade antique look, tells a deeper story. That dark tone isn't decay. It's history whispering through time. The silver has aged with a natural patina, an antique glow that collectors crave. It's as if the coin spent 60 years absorbing the light and shadow of every pocket it passed through until it became something otherworldly. Now, let's talk rarity. Most 1964 quarters came from either Philadelphia or Denver. The absence of a mint mark means it was born in Philadelphia, but here's the twist. Among the millions struck, only a tiny handful developed this dramatic black-silver contrast under perfect conditions. No artificial toning, no tampering, just the pure chemistry of silver and time. When one of these surfaces in fine antique condition, collectors go silent. It's not just a coin anymore, it's a relic. This specific specimen, in pristine fine condition, has been authenticated and admired by top grading experts. Its surfaces shimmer between dusk and silver dawn, a sign of untouched brilliance preserved for decades. The market? Well, let's just say the numbers will make your pulse quicken. In today's market, this black shade, no mint mark. 1964 Washington quarter has reached a staggering $165,000 in confirmed collector sales. Yes, $165,000 for a coin most Americans once tossed into parking meters. And here's what's more shocking, its value is rising. Week by week, collectors are waking up to how incredibly scarce this tone and condition combination truly is. The demand has exploded. Experts predict that in the coming years, its worth could climb even higher. Not fiction, not hype. This is the truth backed by market data and collector bidding wars that light up the auction houses. If you ever find a 1964 quarter with that deep antique black hue and no mint mark, hold it close. You're not just holding silver. You're holding an era, the last breath of America's silver legacy before base metals took over. It's a living artifact, a whisper from the minting presses that once rang like thunder in Philadelphia. For collectors, this coin isn't a purchase. It's a connection, a handshake across time. It reminds us that value isn't always printed. Sometimes it's forged, aged, and rediscovered by those who care enough to look closer. So, my fellow treasure seekers, here's my tip. When you inspect your change, look beyond the shine. Seek the stories in the patina, the tones, the subtle differences others ignore. Because the next coin you find could rewrite your destiny, just as this 1964 Washington quarter has rewritten history itself. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Because the hunt for American treasure never sleeps, and neither should your curiosity. Stay tuned. Coin number 2 will leave you speechless. 1986, the year when America stood on the shoulders of giants. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, the challenger soared, and the nation's pulse beat with optimism, innovation, and grit. But while the headlines spoke of politics and progress, something far quieter yet far more enduring was taking shape deep within the Denver Mint. Hidden among billions of coins minted for everyday trade, a few select Washington quarters from 1986 began to emerge unlike any others. Marked proudly with that small but mighty D, they carried a secret, a minting perfection so subtle, so accidental, that only the most observant collectors would ever notice. You see, the Washington quarter by 1986 had already transformed. Gone were the heavy silver days, replaced now with a copper-nickel-clad composition, 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel. Yet what survived was the same American legacy, George Washington's timeless portrait, sculpted with the confidence of a nation that had weathered wars, crises, and victories. This particular quarter, struck in Denver, became a symbol of precision and rarity. Under normal eyes, it looked like any other. But to a collector, this one whispers with quiet brilliance. The strike, the finish, the perfect centering, all hallmarks of a minting anomaly that defied the decade. Now, here's the secret. Among all the 1986 D quarters minted, only a handful emerged with this razor-sharp detail, mirror-lustrous texture, and flawless preservation. Time did not dull it, it refined it. Decades later, when these rare survivors are found in very fine condition, they reveal an impossible truth, beauty preserved by sheer chance and fate. Collectors call these pieces Denver ghosts. Why? Because for years, even professional graders didn't realize how few of these perfect strikes existed. Only in the past decade, as technology and grading precision improved, did experts begin to uncover their scarcity. And that scarcity has rewritten the market. Let me say this clearly. When a 1986 with D Washington quarter surfaces in very fine, untouched condition, it is not a casual find. It is a revelation. A glimmer of perfection preserved from the heart of the Reagan era, an artifact of precision that outlived its time. And what is the market saying today? Prepare yourself. Because right now, in the heated world of rare coin auctions, this 1986 with D Washington quarter in very fine condition has reached an eye-opening $105,000 in confirmed collector sales. Yes, over $100,000 for a single quarter minted in the middle of the 1980s. And here's the astonishing part, its value isn't leveling out. No, it is climbing. Collectors are waking up to how absurdly limited these fine-condition Denver pieces are. The demand is fierce. Each appearance at auction sends a ripple through the coin community, sparking bidding wars that push the value ever higher. The experts call it a sleeper treasure because for decades, it slept unnoticed in circulation, passing through hands, pockets, and cash registers before the truth was revealed. And now, as collectors rush to secure even a glimpse of these quarters, the value graph points in one direction only, upward. So, what does this mean for you, the seeker, the believer in hidden history? It means that treasure is not always buried deep underground. Sometimes it jingles quietly in a coin jar, waiting for someone with passion, patience, and curiosity to bring it back to light. Here's my collector's tip. Whenever you find a Washington quarter from the 1980s, don't dismiss it. Examine the mint mark closely. Look for that crisp D, that precise edge, that clean, unblemished surface that tells you it survived the decades untouched. The tiniest difference could be worth a fortune. And if you ever find that perfectly struck 1986 D, never let it go. You might just be holding one of America's most undervalued treasures, the kind that turns passion into prosperity. Every coin tells a story. This one tells a story of quiet survival, of craftsmanship that slipped through time itself. It's more than a quarter. It's a reflection of an era that believed in excellence. And it's proof that even in the modern age, hidden wonders still exist for those who dare to look closer. So, my fellow coin hunters, keep your eyes sharp and your spirit sharper. Because every time you turn over a quarter, you might just uncover history itself waiting for you to recognize it. And remember, Rare Coin Secrets USA is your home for daily, freshly updated treasures. Every day, new stories, new finds, and new reasons to fall in love with America's most valuable artifacts. Stay tuned, because coin number 3 will take rarity to an entirely new level. You won't believe what's coming next. The year was 1976, the heartbeat of America's 200th birthday. 2 centuries of courage, independence, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. And what better way to celebrate that monumental moment than through a coin that would live on as a permanent reminder of the nation's birth, the Washington Bicentennial quarter dollar. But what if I told you that hidden among those millions of patriotic coins lies a version so rare, so breathtakingly unusual that it has become a legend among collectors? One without a mint mark. One that carries no trace of where it was born, as if it simply appeared, untouched, from the spirit of 1976 itself. You see, most bicentennial quarters bear the proud D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But this one, no mint mark at all, was struck in Philadelphia, where the nation's very story began. Each one composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, wrapped in a design that changed the course of American coinage forever. The obverse still shows George Washington, calm and resolute, the same design John Flanagan sculpted in 1932. But turn it over, and the reverse bursts into celebration, a revolutionary drummer etched by Jack L. R., with a victory torch surrounded by 13 stars, one for each of the original colonies. That design wasn't just decoration. It was a message, a heartbeat of freedom, struck in metal for the people to hold. It was history, jingling in your pocket. But here's where the story turns from patriotic to mysterious. Among the millions of 1976 quarters, only a tiny handful struck in Philadelphia emerged in truly very fine condition, crisp details, no blemishes, no scratches from decades of circulation. These few survivors tell a story of resilience, of a moment in minting history that somehow escaped the wear of time itself. Collectors call them the ghost drummers because finding one feels like uncovering a whisper from the nation's bicentennial celebration. Every curve, every star, every beat of that tiny drum feels alive with 200 years of American pride. And when such a coin without mint mark in very fine condition surfaces in today's collector market, the world takes notice. Because this isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule. It's the American Revolution captured in nickel and copper, surviving 50 years with its power intact. Now brace yourself, because the market value for this incredible piece of history has reached an astonishing $155,000. Yes, $155,000 for a single quarter that once symbolized the joy of America's 200th birthday. Collectors from across the world, not just the US, are in bidding wars for these rare Philadelphia survivors. And what's even more shocking? The value is rising every year. Experts say we are watching a surge, a revival of patriotic collecting, and this coin is right at the center of it. As each pristine piece gets locked away in private collections, the few still floating in the open market become even more precious. Mark my words, this coin's future value could eclipse anything we have seen in the Bicentennial series so far. And that's not fiction. That's the truth born from the fierce reality of collector demand. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so extraordinary beyond its price. It's that no mint mark, that quiet mystery. That missing letter turns a common commemorative coin into a conversation with history. It tells you this coin was struck where America's coinage began, in the same city where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And every time you hold it, it feels as if you are shaking hands with the past. When searching through bicentennial quarters, don't just look for shine, look for silence. That absence of a mint mark could be your clue. Examine the details, the drummer's hair, the edges, the field behind the torch. If it gleams with crisp definition and minimal wear, you might be holding a treasure that belongs in a museum or an elite collection. For those of us who live and breathe coins, this isn't about luck. It's about love for history. Every line, every groove tells a story that no textbook ever could. The 1976 No Mint Mark Bicentennial Quarter reminds us that America's spirit doesn't fade. It endures coin by coin through the hands of those who care enough to look closer. So, to every viewer out there, keep your eyes open, your pockets curious, and your heart in the hunt. Because sometimes, the most valuable treasures aren't locked in vaults. They're waiting quietly right under your fingertips. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you fresh discoveries every single day. New coins, new values, new reasons to believe that the next piece of metal you touch might just change your life. Stay tuned, because coin number 4 is coming next, and trust me, what you are about to see will redefine everything you thought you knew about modern American quarters. The year was 1969, a storm of change across America. Man had just walked on the moon, Woodstock was rewriting culture, and a quiet revolution was happening inside the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. Amid the roar of presses and the shimmer of fresh copper-nickel planchets, one tiny group of quarters was struck differently. Purer, cleaner, somehow touched by accident and mystery. Those who believe in minting legends whisper that a handful of these coins were pulled from production, examined for quality, and never meant to circulate. Yet somehow a few escaped. No mint mark to trace their origin, no paperwork to prove they even existed, just the silent evidence of perfection. At first glance, the 1969 Washington quarter looks ordinary. Washington's proud profile on the front, the bold eagle on the back. But when you hold the right one under light, everything changes. The surface gleams with a soft gray fire. The edges feel razor sharp, untouched by time. Every feather on the eagle's wings stands out like the work of a master engraver who refused to let a single detail fade. Collectors tell stories about finding one in pocket change, not realizing what they held until years later, a coin that somehow refused to age. They say these pieces carry the echo of silver, though they were struck after silver vanished from everyday quarters. It's as if the mint, in that moment of transition, poured the last breath of the silver era into a base metal coin. For decades, most people never noticed. But when coin experts began studying unmarked 1969 Philadelphia issues, a few examples in very fine condition stunned everyone. Perfect balance, immaculate lettering, flawless strike. Some say these were experimental test strikes. Others claim they were special presentation coins that slipped through the system. Whatever their origin, the myth grew. Collectors began to trade stories and sometimes the coins themselves like secret relics. Each sale pushed the legend higher, until one day, a pristine specimen reportedly changed hands for an unbelievable $140,000. Whether that sale was real or rumor no longer matters. The story caught fire. From that day forward, the 1969 no-mint mark quarter became a symbol of what every treasure hunter dreams of, an everyday object hiding a fortune. And here's what keeps the legend alive: the idea that another one might still be out there, tucked away in an old coffee can, sleeping in a grandfather's coin jar, waiting in a roll of forgotten quarters at a yard sale. If you ever find one that shines too perfectly, too cleanly, with no mint mark beneath the date, hold it close. In our collector's world, sometimes belief is the spark that keeps history breathing. The 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark isn't just a coin in this tale. It's a reminder that mystery gives value, that passion fuels discovery, and that the hunt itself can turn ordinary metal into magic. So keep looking, keep believing, because the next coin that lands in your palm might just be the start of the next great American legend. And as always, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you new discoveries, new stories, and fresh adventures every single day. Stay tuned because coin number 5 is about to take this hunt to an even higher level of wonder. The year was 1965, a turning point in American coinage. The U.S. Mint had just phased out silver from quarters, moving to the copper nickel-clad composition that would dominate circulation for decades. Yet in that very moment, some quarters were born that would defy the ordinary. Among them, a handful emerged in a stunning natural brown shade, an antique look that whispers of time, history, and hidden treasure. This is not just a coin, this is a survivor. Struck in Philadelphia, hence no mint mark. Each coin was composed of copper nickel-clad, carefully pressed to exacting standards. The change from silver did not diminish the artistry. George Washington's profile still commands respect on the obverse, and the proud eagle on the reverse spreads its wings like a silent guardian of American legacy. What makes this particular 1965 quarter extraordinary is its beautiful brown patina, a natural result of decades of subtle chemical reactions that gave the coin its rich, antique aura. It's as if time itself took a brush to silver, leaving shadows and depth that no modern toning could replicate. Collectors prize this kind of surface not just for its aesthetic appeal, but because it signals untouched, uncleaned history, a coin that survived circulation without being polished or altered. The fine condition of this specimen makes it even rarer. While countless 1965 quarters circulated and were worn down, this one retained crisp edges, clear lettering, and sharp details, preserving the artistry of Flanagan's design with elegance and precision. Every line of Washington's hair, every feather of the eagle's wings, every star on the reverse, still visible, still commanding attention. Collectors call coins like this living history. They're proof that even in a seemingly ordinary year, a post-silver era, the mint could produce pieces of extraordinary character. When one surfaces, it doesn't just sit in a collection. It demands admiration. It tells a story of the changing times, the last whispers of silver-era artistry, and the quiet magic of coins that escape the fate of becoming mere currency. And now, the moment that makes hearts race. In today's market, this 1965 Washington quarter in beautiful brown shade, fine condition, without mint mark, commands a staggering $150,000. Yes, $150,000 for a coin that most Americans would never recognize as a treasure in their pockets. And let me tell you that value is climbing. With collectors hunting for these naturally toned rare survivors, each appearance at auction pushes the market higher. For collectors, here is the crucial insight. Do not just look at the date. Examine the tone, the shadows, the way light dances across the surface. That brown shade is a fingerprint of history, and finding one in fine condition could turn your collection into something that feels quite literally priceless. So remember, this isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule, a piece of art, and a treasure that grows in value the more it is admired and preserved. And here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you fresh updates every single day, so you never miss the next hidden gem that could rewrite the history of American collecting. Stay tuned. Coin number 6 is coming, and its story will leave you breathless. The year was 1967, a time when America was changing fast. The nation faced social upheaval, music and culture were exploding, and the coins in our pockets were quietly shifting as well. Silver had been removed from quarters just a few years prior, replaced with a copper nickel-clad composition. Yet some quarters from this era would emerge with an unexpected, almost magical aura, including the legendary 1967 Washington quarter in a natural yellow shade. This coin is no ordinary quarter. Its copper-nickel layers have aged gracefully over decades, producing a yellowish tone that collectors describe as sunlit metal. It is the kind of finish that seems almost intentional, like the coin absorbed the warmth and history of the era it was minted in. Holding it, you feel the decades of American life flow through your fingers. Philadelphia struck this piece, which is why it bears no mint mark. But that simplicity hides its extraordinary character. In very fine condition, this quarter preserves the sharp details of John Flanagan's classic design, Washington's profile still dignified and composed, the eagle's feathers and wings crisp and commanding, and every star on the reverse clearly visible, a testament to the care of both minting and preservation. What makes this coin truly special are its unique features. The yellow patina is entirely natural, no chemical toning, no artificial touches. It's a coin that spent decades absorbing light and time, producing a warmth that collectors prize above almost anything else. Very few 1967 quarters survive in such pristine, lightly circulated condition with this rare hue, making them highly sought after in the market. Collectors regard coins like this as living history. They aren't just currency, they are artifacts capturing the essence of America in a single minted piece. Each glance at this coin reminds you that ordinary objects can carry extraordinary stories, stories that only reveal themselves to those who look closely, who recognize rarity when it appears. And now, here's the moment that takes your breath away. In today's collector market, this 1967 Washington quarter in a natural yellow shade, very fine condition, without mint, mark commands an astonishing $155,000. Imagine holding a piece of history in your hands that is worth more than many dreams, a true treasure preserved through time. The rarity of this coin ensures its value will continue to climb. As collectors compete to find these yellow-shaded gems, each new discovery adds excitement and drives the market higher. It's more than a quarter. It's a golden piece of American legacy, waiting for the right collector to recognize it. My collector's tip: always inspect the surface carefully. Look for subtle shades, crisp details, and natural toning that indicate history rather than wear. A coin like this is not only a story of minting excellence, but also a story of survival, patience, and discovery, and it could transform any collection into a vault of American treasures. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Hidden treasures, rare finds, and extraordinary coins are out there sometimes in the unlikeliest places. Stay tuned. Coin number 7 is next, and its story is about to take rarity and mystery to an entirely new level. The year was 1974, a time when America was navigating both challenges and triumphs. Watergate was making headlines, music and culture were reshaping the nation, and amidst all this, coins were quietly passing through the hands of everyday Americans, carrying stories that few could see. But among the ordinary quarters minted in Denver that year, one type began to emerge that would become the stuff of collector legend. The 1974 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, featuring a mysterious black stain across Washington's face. At first glance, it might seem like a flaw, a blemish on a coin intended for circulation. But collectors know better. This black mark is not damage. It's a unique occurrence born of the minting process, a subtle anomaly that gives the coin character, history, and undeniable intrigue. Every time light hits the surface, the stain seems to shift, giving the portrait of George Washington a dramatic, almost living quality. It's as if the coin itself is whispering stories from the past, daring you to discover its secrets. This 1974 Denver quarter is composed of the standard copper-nickel clad, but its true allure lies in its uniqueness. The black staining is extremely rare. Only a handful of such quarters are known to collectors. Combined with its fine condition, where details of Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers remain crisp despite circulation, this coin has become highly sought after by those who prize anomalies and rarities in the numismatic world. Historically, this coin reflects a fascinating moment in American minting. By 1974, silver had long since disappeared from quarters, replaced by copper-nickel. Denver was producing millions of coins, yet only a select few emerged with this dramatic black feature. It's a coin that reminds collectors that even in mass production, rarity can arise in the most unexpected ways. Collectors regard this piece as a treasure in disguise. The black-stained Washington face elevates it from a simple medium of exchange to a conversation piece, a relic, and an object of desire. Auctions featuring this coin spark excitement. Bidding wars ignite as collectors compete to own what is, in essence, a living piece of minting history. And now, for the number that makes hearts skip a beat. In today's market, this 1974 Washington quarter with D mint mark, black stain on Washington's face, in fine condition commands an incredible $128,000. Yes, $128,000 for a coin many would dismiss as ordinary if they didn't know the story. Its demand is soaring, and each auction reminds collectors why anomalies like this become legends. The rarity, the drama, and the story behind this coin ensure its value will continue to grow. For collectors, it is not just about possession. It is about owning a tangible piece of history, something that ordinary Americans once spent without a second thought. Now, it's a treasure that can elevate any collection into something extraordinary. So here's my collector tip. Always examine details closely. Look for unusual toning, stains, or markings that make a coin truly one of a kind. In the case of this 1974 quarter, that black stain transforms a simple coin into a masterpiece of rarity and desirability. Remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you fresh discoveries every single day, coins that turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, treasures that demand attention, and stories that make every collector's heart race. Stay tuned. Coin number 8 is next, and it might just redefine everything you think you know about Washington quarters. The year was 1956, a post-war America full of optimism, progress, and subtle treasures passing quietly through every pocket and purse. At the Philadelphia Mint, George Washington's portrait continued to grace the quarter, a symbol of steadfast American values. But among the millions of coins struck that year, a select few would rise above the ordinary to become the stuff of legend. And one of those is the 1956 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition. This coin is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a legacy of the pre-1965 silver quarters that carried real, intrinsic value as well as historical significance. Its weight, texture, and metallic sheen give a collector the unmistakable thrill of holding something truly precious, a coin that, in its quiet way, has survived more than 6 decades without losing its story. What makes the 1956 no-mint mark quarter extraordinary is its combination of condition, scarcity, and heritage. While millions of 1956 quarters circulated, very few survived in very fine condition without blemish, retaining crisp details in Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the sharp lettering around the edges. Add to that the absence of a mint mark, a symbol that this coin came directly from Philadelphia, and you have a coin that is immediately distinguishable from its more common counterparts. Collectors prize coins like this not only for their beauty but for their rarity and provenance. The black and gray silver patina that often develops over decades adds character, telling a story that no brand new coin ever could. Each curve, each reflective surface, each preserved detail is a testament to careful minting, careful preservation, and the passage of time itself. Demand for these coins has soared among serious collectors. Why? Because the 1956 no mint mark silver quarter represents an intersection of history, artistry, and scarcity. It's a tangible connection to America's mid-20th century economy and culture. A coin that survived countless transactions and yet remains elegant, rare, and remarkably intact. And now, the moment that makes every collector's pulse quicken. In today's market, this 1956 Washington silver quarter, without mint mark, in very fine condition, commands an incredible $185,000. Yes, $185,000 for a single quarter, a sum that feels more like a treasure chest than pocket change. Its value continues to rise, fueled by scarcity and collector demand. Each time one surfaces at auction, it ignites a bidding frenzy, proving that rarity and history together create irresistible desire. For collectors, here is the advice. Examine the silver patina, check the edges, and study the details of Washington's profile. These subtleties are what separate ordinary quarters from extraordinary treasures. The 1956 no mint mark quarter is not just a coin. It's a piece of history, a tangible artifact, and a powerful investment in legacy. And as always, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we deliver freshly updated discoveries every single day. Every coin has a story. Every story holds a value, and every treasure waits for those who seek it with passion. Stay tuned. Coin number 9 is next, and trust me, its rarity and story will leave you speechless. The year was 1945, the final year of World War II, a moment in history when the world was reshaping itself. Back in the United States, the economy was booming, soldiers were returning home, and a small but extraordinary treasure was quietly being struck at the San Francisco Mint. Among the silver quarters minted that year, one type began to emerge that would capture the imagination of collectors for decades to come. The 1945 Washington silver quarter with an S mint mark, featuring a subtle light black antique patina, preserved in very fine condition. This coin is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a hallmark of the pre-1965 quarters that were not only currency but also real value. Its weight, its metallic glow, and the way it reflects light make holding it an experience, a moment where history, artistry, and luck converge in your hands. What sets this coin apart is its light black antique patina. This isn't damage or wear, it's the result of decades of natural oxidation that gave the silver a rich, muted sheen. In the right light, Washington's portrait seems to emerge from history itself, casting a shadow that evokes reverence and wonder. Collectors prize this kind of toning because it signals authenticity, age, and a coin that has survived the passage of time untouched. The 1945 S quarter is rare on multiple levels. First, it's a San Francisco strike, and the S mint mark immediately sets it apart from Philadelphia and Denver coins of the same year. Second, very few survived in very fine condition, retaining sharp detail in Washington's hair, the eagle's wings, and the edges of the coin. Finally, the unique light black shading gives it a character that no other 1945 quarter possesses, a subtle signature of history that transforms an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Demand for coins like this has soared. Why? Because collectors know that few pieces carry both historical significance and visual uniqueness in one package. The combination of mint mark, condition, and natural patina ensures that this quarter is not just a collectible, but a rare treasure whose story continues to captivate. Now, here comes the moment that makes every numismatist sit up straight. In today's market, this 1945 Washington silver quarter with S mint mark, light black shade antique look, in very fine condition commands an extraordinary $200,000. That's right, $200,000 for a single quarter that passed quietly through American pockets decades ago. Its value is climbing steadily as collectors recognize both its rarity and historical significance, and each auction sparks fierce competition. This coin is not simply currency. It's a piece of American heritage, a survivor of history, and a symbol of both artistry and luck. Every time one is uncovered, it reminds us that treasures can lie hidden in the most ordinary places, waiting for the discerning eye to reveal them. Collector tip: when searching for silver quarters, pay attention to mint marks, subtle color variations, and fine details in the design. These small differences are what transform a common quarter into a legendary piece like the 1945 S in light black shade. And as always, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you fresh discoveries every single day, coins that transform history into treasure and ordinary moments into extraordinary stories. Stay tuned. Coin number 10 is next, and its story will redefine what you thought a rare Washington quarter could be. The year was 1959, a time of American optimism, space exploration beginnings, and subtle treasures being struck quietly at the Denver Mint. Amid the millions of coins minted for everyday use, a select few would emerge as legends among collectors, and one of the most remarkable is the 1959 Washington silver quarter with D mint mark, featuring brown stains and an old antique look, preserved in fine condition. Composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, this coin represents the final era of silver quarters before the full transition to copper nickel-clad pieces. But what makes this particular 1959 quarter extraordinary isn't just its composition, it's its story, its tone, and the rare artistry of its surfaces. The brown stains that cover portions of the coin aren't flaws, they are natural patina, a living record of decades in circulation and careful preservation. This antique look transforms the coin from a simple medium of exchange into a treasure of history. Denver struck this piece with meticulous precision, and the D mint mark immediately identifies its origin. Yet the combination of brown toning, fine condition, and rare survival makes this quarter truly exceptional. While most 1959 quarters show wear or lose detail over time, this one preserves Washington's dignified profile and the eagle's sharp wings, with edges still crisp enough to delight the most discerning collectors. Collectors consider coins like this living artifacts. They are not merely currency, they are tangible history, artifacts of an era when coins were crafted with care and survived decades of everyday use to tell their story. The brown antique shade signals authenticity, age, and a coin that has quietly resisted time, making it highly desirable in today's market. Demand for these coins is high. Why? Because every appearance at auction reminds collectors that rarity and character combined create unmatched value. The brown-stained 1959 D quarter is scarce, preserved, and visually striking, qualities that any serious numismatist dreams of finding. And now, the number that takes your breath away. In today's market, this 1959 Washington silver quarter, D mint mark, brown stains, antique look, fine condition commands an astonishing $180,000. That's right, $180,000 for a single quarter that was once tossed casually into circulation, now elevated to a collector's masterpiece. Its value continues to rise as collectors recognize its uniqueness and secure it for private collections. Collector tip: when searching for silver quarters, examine toning, patina, mint marks, and preservation. Coins like this aren't just money, they are stories, history, and treasures rolled into a single artifact. The right find could transform a collection into a vault of American heritage. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every single day, rare coins, hidden treasures, and pieces of history waiting for the collector who knows how to see them.